Today I go over the pros and cons of Creed Rise to Glory Championship Edition for the MetaQuest 3. Creed was released by the developer and publisher Survios in May 2019, the same creators of Alien Rogue Incursion and The Walking Dead Onslaught, which is not the same as The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, by the way. The following are points I do like about Creed. I like that they try to implement similitudes to the Creed storyline from the movies into this game, but it's a bit slim in terms of storyline, it's kind of meager. Basically, there are two campaign paths, the Rise to Glory story and the Legacy story. Each one makes you go through a different story with slightly different characters along the way, although some of them are the same. When you choose to go through the Legacy path, you meet Rocky as he trains you, and you go through boxing matches with challenging opponents as you progress. If you choose the easiest mode, you're going to be able to finish the campaign within 3 to 4 hours depending on the difficulty. Of course, if you choose the most difficult being champion difficulty, then it's going to take you a bit more time. I like that there's a nice impact when punching opponents. It looks and sounds like you're hitting something hard, even if you obviously are not hitting anything. The animations are well captured enough, and I haven't experienced any clipping or any noticeable bug in single player. I like that although the game was evidently developed to be playable by all skill levels, it produces quite a good workout with all the punching, dodging, and blocking involved. I also ended up liking to punch the double land bag with all my mighty force like Dragon Ball Z, making it swing back and forth as long as possible. I don't find the rest of the features of the game amazingly attractive, so I don't have much else to say. So thank you very much for watching and stay tuned. Nah, just kidding. In my opinion, this game doesn't have a lot of replayability unless you are a hardcore fan of boxing, and it's not quite comparable to the Thrill of the Fight 2 because in its current early access status it's only multiplayer. The Thrill of the Fight 1 is only single player. The new Boxing Underdog is evidently better than Creed in all aspects, even though Creed is in its final form. Boxing Underdog is brand new in early access and so not a complete product yet, but it's definitely better than Creed. Now the following are points I don't like about Creed. I understand that Survios created an arcade-type VR game and not a physics-based game, so it's understandable why everything in Creed is stiff like stone. So there's no grabbable or grippable items like weights. It's not like Bone Lab, which is a physics-based game. But Arizona Sunshine is not a physics-based game, and yet we can still grab items and throw them at the zombies, and the zombies do fall or lean backwards or become affected by the thrown object. For the Thrill of the Fight 2, none of this is necessary because it's currently only in multiplayer, whereas Creed is not, because Creed has both single player and multiplayer, although, again, Creed is in its final form. So Creed would still have benefited from additional ways to be able to play in those gyms instead of only relying on arcade-based boxing matches or training sessions, which are all stiff. But at the same time, it's understandable since the original Creed was released in 2018 for the Oculus Rift, before Meta rebranded Oculus into MetaQuest. Creed was developed using the Unreal Engine 4, whereas Thrill of the Fight and Boxing Underdog were developed using Unity. I don't like that there's a lack of diversity throughout the campaign and boxing matches. Both story paths are meager. The same opponents reappear. It's always the same boxing announcer and the same boxing referee. You know, it's a bit like Arizona Sunshine where they only have 4 horde maps and only a few watches and a few gloves for your avatar. I know VR is still in its early to middle phase. I wouldn't say infancy anymore, but of course, it's not advanced like PC gaming or console gaming. But couldn't they add more announcers and referees? It's the same darn NPCs every time. I don't like that some hits don't actually register to the body or to the face. It requires timing. It must be for the same reason that it's not a physics-based game but an arcade game. The way it's programmed, it just doesn't register most hits at a certain interval. But it's not too bad though, it's still acceptable. Now that Boxing Underdog came out a few weeks ago, we're going to soon forget about Creed and only give place to the Thrill of the Fight 2 and Boxing Underdog. Lastly, the online mode PvP, player versus player, allows us to play online against someone else out there. We wait to be connected through a server to another player, and we start boxing after choosing our character and boxing ring. But my experience has been very annoying and disappointing because it lags and bugs. Your opponent has a tendency of jittering or lagging. I also experienced multiple times when your opponent has its arms stay stuck in the air, and the arms extend like those elastic figurine toys or elastic stickman. Then we're forced to quit the session, and rarely even quit the game. So in the end, Creed Rise to Glory is a bit expensive at 35 Canadian dollars for what it is, but hey, it was the second game I purchased in November 29, 2024, right after purchasing my Quest 3, so I didn't know any better. But I think that I would still have purchased it anyhow just because I run this YouTube channel and I need to publish videos. But if you don't care about buying a game just to have a say on YouTube and you want to save money, I guess you can safely skip Creed. It's not that amazing now in 2025. Just play the Thrill of the Fight 1 and 2 and Boxing Underdog, especially if you don't have a MetaQuest just yet. Thanks, and stay tuned for some Thrill of the Fight and Boxing Underdog. But the few videos to come out won't be pros and cons, since these two games are still in early access and are not final products. After a few videos for each game just to showcase them, I'll move on to sword fighting games. Then I'm going to be publishing some pros and cons on those sword fighting games. Anyway, it's going to take several more months for the Thrill of the Fight 2 and Boxing Underdog to be complete and no longer be in early access status.